Senior writer Michael Smith discusses the use of Wachovia Corp, Bank of America Group, and other banks by Mexican drug cartels to launder its funds in the magazine's August 2010 issue. Smith reports that Wells Fargo, which bought Wachovia in 2008, admitted in court that its unit failed to monitor and report suspected money laundering by narcotics traffickers. Yeah, you know, some poor guy sells an old car and gets $2,000. I saw this case in Austin. And the IRS comes and grabs their bank account because they report it. Well, the bank shows you deposit about $800 every 2 weeks as a construction worker, and suddenly there was $2,000 extra in there, so the fraud unit called the government. Again, they're rat snitches worse than East Germany. We just accept total surveillance, and that up front, everything we do is reported to the feds. And under this new regulation reform, the big crime banks don't just take over all the other banks and get unlimited money. Literally, unlimited whatever they want. Just 10 times worse than the bailout of a year and a half ago. 100 times. In fact, it's unlimited. It's infinity worse. It's just unlimited. There's no words to describe it. But then meanwhile, oh, billions of dollars, sorry. We didn't know it was Mexican drug cartels. Jeepers, weepers. And it just goes on and on. No. The cops are going to kick down your door looking for one balloon of heroin. Meanwhile, the Pentagon admits they're growing almost all the opium in the world in Afghanistan. Over 90% is produced there, and our government grows it, ships it out directly to your whore daughter's veins. Your daughter's a whore because they tricked her and sold it to her and got her addicted. Your son's dead because the government shipped heroin in and advertised it in movies like it was cool. They bring the drugs in. The big central banks are the equivalent of foreign spies destroying America. And I talked about this some in the first hour. You got these big global banks openly lobbying to get rid of the dollar and have a new UN-run world government SDR where the banks make the profits and we pay taxes to them. That's CNN today. Today. CNN, dollar should replace as international standard, UN report says by SDRs, and it's the whole carbon tax plan. Now, is that treason? Is that espionage? Hitler couldn't conquer us. Stalin, Napoleon, whoever, couldn't conquer England, couldn't conquer America, but now we're conquered by these private bankers who have screwed everything up by design and gotten us deep in debt, building their empire, and now they say, don't worry, we got a plan, we're going to take over even more. And meanwhile, look out, Iran wants to nuke you. Look out, there's Muslim terrorists everywhere. Meanwhile, the illegal aliens are pouring across. There's thousands dead. Obama says, that he's going to leave the border open so that people get terrorized into accepting amnesty. And meanwhile, the media's, oh, my God, the beautiful redhead was a Russian spy, deep cover. Oh, my gosh, they were surveilling us. They were actually spies, 11 of them. What do you expect? Of course, the Chinese back under Clinton had over 3,000 front companies. L'Oreal, Hughes, Missile Secrets, communist Chinese generals in the White House. Commerce Secretary was going to go public, Ron Brown. They murdered him. Air Force colonel who did the autopsy said everybody on board been shot in the head. They had special forces on board, shoot everybody, blow the door, high-low, helo, out of there. Classic tactic, but side issue. You've got spies running all over America. America is a giant joke, wide open to British, Israeli, Chinese spies, and anybody else. Why is Russia the one group that when they have spies, the globalists go ape? Well, because the globalists made a deal. They put Lenin in. Stalin went sideways. They made deals later. But the Soviet Union was set up by U.S. and British intelligence, and that's now been declassified. Mao was put in. Mao continued the deal. The Chinese have never broken their deal with the bankers. When I say the U.S., I mean the bankers that hijacked us. Russia has broken those deals, and Russia's involved in all sorts of evil as well. Any big government is. That's the problem. But the point is, they're getting ready to attack Iran. They know Russia's been selling them weapons. They already started 888 with the Russians and tried to start World War III. That's now been declassified. That's been major newspapers the last 2 months. And so this is a way to kick off, oh my gosh, the Ruskies. And notice they've got Angelina Jolie, who's a CFR member, coming out with that new movie. I've seen it in movies. What's it called? Salt. And she's supposedly a government agent, but they have a Russian defector, and he goes, I know who the spy is. It's you. And then she pulls off her wig, and she's the sexy Russian. And, just like they had all these sneak attack movies where America sneak attacked on TV and in the theaters right before 9/11. I mean, look, they made that movie to kick off the new Cold War. That's it. I mean, period. And, you know, I made the point of prosecute these spies. And obviously they're spies. Husband and wife teams with fake names. Yeah, they're spies. Folks, the Iranians have guaranteed got sleeper cells here in the U.S. that the globalists won't have to stage terror attacks when they attack them. Iran will strike back. And then that's what the globalists want. Just like they blew the oil well and are blocking the recovery, they want the Iranians to attack so they can take your rights.